today is a very special day. The Vaishnavas, you hear them say that very often because the calendar, the Vaishnava calendar is full of auspicious days. So this is the most auspicious day. There's auspicious, there's more auspicious, and there's most auspicious. So this is the most auspicious day today. Today is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, and with the blessings of our Guru Parampara, with the blessings of our Gurus and our Guru, and with the blessings of you, let's try to speak something which inspires us all to go deep into this tattva, into this understanding of what this day actually means. Can you hear me properly? Is this?
I don't know, we have some troubles.
Trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, but should I do?
Do you have a different? Why is it just this?
The mic.
Is the
We
mic?
can try some more. Krishna, попробуйте.
Я не знаю, это такое хорошо.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Это
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, this is good.
Better.
The same.
Scratchy.
Should I release?
Anyway, we will see.
Prabhu, try
Try
again.
now?
This one?
Yeah, I can.
Hare Krishna. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's like a little scratchy, but this may be like this, huh?
It's on the, yeah, sorry.
Okay, let's bear.
Yeah, we can try this mic, but I don't know if it's better.
I think it's the
No?
yeah, this is the sound system.
sound system. Okay. Anyway, I try to speak a little soft, maybe. Okay, cool. So when we want to understand something about transcendence, we need to have a reference. We need to have some reference points because transcendence means transcendence means something which is beyond the range of our senses. So, okay, someone's saying you cannot hear. Okay. Can everyone hear me in the back also?
Now it's not so loud enough.
Okay.
Noch lauter?
A little up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's see. So when we talk about something which is beyond the range of our senses, we need to have reference points. And the reference points for the Vaishnavas, the reference points for anyone really, if you want to understand something which is beyond the range of the senses, the reference point for us is higher knowledge. It's Shastra. For us, it's the Vedas. For us, it's Shastra. For us, it's what's called Shabda Brahman, sound vibration from a different dimension. Like they say, Yugadama Harinam Sankirtan is also a descendant from the spiritual world. It comes from the transcendental world and it comes down to the material world. So it's descended. So we need to understand something which is transcendent from a higher source. This is one reference point. Hare Krishna. Like this. So we can understand something which is transcendent from few reference points. So one reference point is Shastra, and the other reference point, which is very interesting, is the hearts of self-realized persons. So those who are self-realized, those who are who are actually connected to the transcendent world, they can also give us knowledge and understanding. So these two reference points are very important for us. And if you want to understand something about Lord Nityananda, we need to go to Shastra. We need to go to like a reference point. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, just as a question, just a general question by hands up. Who of you read Bhagavad Gita? Who of you read Bhagavad Gita? Okay, cool. Who of you read parts or the whole Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay. And who of you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, something about the life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya? Okay, a few. Okay. So in that last book I mentioned, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is in the 5th chapter, I want to read a few verses from that chapter, just to set the tone. Because to really understand Lord Nityananda, to really understand what we are celebrating today, it's almost impossible to really describe it in depth because it's so deep. It's so deep and deeper and deepest, we can't even comprehend. Because we're talking about divine personalities. We're talking about the personality who is eternally blissful. That's what the name actually means. If you think about the name Nityananda, there's two words. Nitya, which means eternal, and Ananda.
Happiness.
So we're talking about a person who has unlimited and eternal happiness. Haribo, yeah, exactly. So to find out a little bit more, we need to kind of dive deep. We need to get the blessings, and we also need to focus a little bit. So those of you who are interested in this topic, please focus, because if you focus, you give me also the authority to speak a little bit more. So in this book it is said, so in this book it is said, all glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The speaker, the writer of this book, he says, I have described the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 6 verses. Now, in 5 verses, I shall describe the glories of Lord Nityananda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. So that's important, we're going to talk about that in a second. These two, Krishna and Balaram, are one and the same in identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram, here on the left, is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, here on the right. And he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. The original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, down there on the left hand side, the right person. And Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So we've heard now from 4 personalities: Krishna, Balaram, Chaitanya, and Nityananda. In those few verses, 4 personalities have been mentioned. And one of them, Lord Nityananda, is his appearance day today. If you look at the altar, our beautiful altar, you can see there's Jagannath on the right hand side with our beautiful Jagannath with the big eyes. So that is Krishna. So Krishna is described in the Vedas as the original person, the original personality of Godhead. There's no cause beyond Krishna. There's no cause of Krishna. That's one tiny little definition of what God means. There's no cause. It's causeless. He's the cause of everything. So Krishna is the cause of everything. But we just read that he is expanding himself into a second body. So God, who is like all-powerful, who has all powers, all shaktis, all knowledge, all beauty, all wisdom, he's the source of everything. He has all this in him. He expands himself. Means he has one body and then he expands himself into another body. And these 2 bodies, as we just heard, they're not different. They're just different in colors. So we have Lord Jagannath and we have Balaram. They're actually one person, but then they're split into 2 also. This is what transcendence means. Transcendence is something which goes beyond our mundane logic. How can you describe this, that one person expands himself into another person? It's still the same, but different. It's another definition of transcendence. It's impossible to understand. But it is described like this. So we have Krishna, and his first expansion is Balaram. And Balaram, the very word Balaram means who gives strength. Bala means strong. So Balaram is basically, and that's then in and of itself, you can give seminars on end on that topic, who Balaram actually is and why he is the way he is. You see, Krishna he has no duty in a way. He's completely free to do whatever he wants to do. So he's playing. His only thing, his only desire is play. Just imagine you have everything. Let's say you have 1 million no, 10 million, $100 million in your bank account, and you have nothing to do. You need not go to work. So you're gonna have a little fun. So Krishna is the richest. He's the source of all the worlds and all the powers and all the wisdom and all the beauty. So he has really nothing to do. He's enjoying. That's what his job is. He's enjoyer. He's an enjoyer. So in order to enjoy to the maximum, in order to enjoy more and more and more, because that's the nature of enjoyment, it kind of increases. He's playing. So he's like he's expanding himself into a second body. That second body, Lord Balaram here on the left, looks at Krishna and he's like, wow, Krishna, you are so beautiful. Look at your hair. Look at you. I've never seen a person more beautiful than you. And he falls into an ocean of love. So the second expansion of Krishna becomes like a servant, or becomes like looks at Krishna as an object. So Krishna becomes the object of love. So Balaram, the one who is actually strong and holds everything together, he looks at Krishna and Krishna becomes his object of love. And because he loves Krishna so much, he goes into a work mode, you could almost say, like a service mode. He's like thinking, okay, how can I make that personality happy? What can I do? So Balaram, the elder brother of Krishna, if you read Krishna Leela, if you listen to all the Leelas of Krishna, you will see he's always there. He is his big brother. When they go out on the pasturing grounds and they're gonna go and have fun in Vrindavan, Balaram is always there. They're brothers, like tight, like real friendship, real brotherhood. But there's love above everything. So that Balaram, he's described in Shastra, he becomes Mula Sankarshan. Mula Sankarshan means like he starts to create worlds for Krishna to go into and enjoy. That's what Balaram does. So Balaram becomes the bed for Krishna. The temple room, the very floor we're sitting on, that's actually Balaram. Because if you come into the temple, and the temple itself is Balaram. So Balaram expands himself. He becomes like forms to worship Krishna. The Mridanga is said to be Balaram. All the instruments which we use in the kirtan, they're an expansion of Balaram. So it doesn't stop there. So all the worlds, even this material world, even the material manifestation is an expansion or creation of Balaram. You see, there's Krishna, and then Balaram kind of becomes a second body, and that second body creates everything for Krishna to go into to have fun. So this material world is even created by Balaram. So the spiritual and the material worlds are created by Balaram. So that's why the name makes sense. He's strong. Who of you can create in the universe? Anyone creating the universe? No. So Balaram is like, he creates unlimited universes. Unlimited. The word is important. Like when we talk about Krishna, there's so often this word comes unlimited. There's no end. There's no end to the beauty, the strength, and the passion and the love of Krishna's devotees. So on one side we have Balaram, and on the other side we have Radharani, which is also a very important topic. We're focusing on Balaram today. And so Balaram and Krishna, they're tight, like friends. So, and they have an eternal unlimited play. And this, again, in and of itself, could be like a topic of like weeks on ends, months on ends, years on ends, lifetimes on ends of discussion. Because there's no end to their glories. I can. If I speak my whole life, I cannot even touch a drop of the ocean of play they do. I have no power to speak about their unlimited pastimes, but they have unlimited pastimes, and they perform these unlimited pastimes. But they perform these unlimited pastimes to attract everyone else. They perform these beautiful pastimes wherever they are in the material world or in the spiritual world. They perform pastimes. They play. Why do they play? They play to attract everyone else to take part in their in their world. Now, so Balaram means strength. So anyone who is on the spiritual path, if he needs, we all need strength, right? We all need somehow or other, we need support, and we need some strength. So on the spiritual path, if you want to be strong on the spiritual path, we should actually connect to Balaram. It is said. So since Balaram has this love for Krishna, like we said, Krishna is the object of his love. So the love Balaram feels, the love he feels when he looks at the Lord, it's very unique. So he has in his heart something which is very valuable, and that's love for God. This is important also for later when we come down to the Leela of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Then this love is not something they keep hidden. It's like, oh, that's mine. I keep it for myself. You don't get it. It's just for me. They're not egoistic. They want to share this love with everyone else. So how do they share this love? So now we're coming into the pastimes and into the let's say incarnations and manifestations of Krishna, which are actually meant to reach everyone in every nook and corner of all the material worlds to get a drop of that love. Because that's what it is all about. It's about love. It sounds a bit like funny sometimes when we say that, like love. Nobody really knows what love is. Yeah. But it is described. It is all about the love and the connection. Now, so Krishna has unlimited forms, like we already said, like waves. Yeah? So when you go to the shore, when you go to the beach, when you go to the ocean, you will see there's so many waves are coming, one wave and another wave, and they kind of overlap, and waves and waves and waves. Something I really like to meditate when I'm on the seaside. I'm sitting there and looking at the waves and thinking, wow, this is going on for the last, I don't know how many million years. Waves coming, waves are coming, waves are coming, waves are coming. And so it's described that Krishna's incarnations are like this. Unlimited waves. They're coming and going and coming and going. There's so many different incarnations of Krishna. Like yesterday we had an incarnation of Krishna, right? Yesterday was Varaha's manifestation. So Varaha, also Krishna comes in a certain form to perform something. To play. To kind of fight. The Varaha expansion of Krishna, the Varaha incarnation of Krishna is there to really fight with the demons. He was fighting with Hiranyakashipu and he was kind of killing them. Krishna likes to fight. So whenever he wants to fight, then Balaram is like, all right, okay, so let me see, how can I arrange this? Let me arrange a place where Krishna can come into and fight. So Krishna is doing that. Balaram is doing that. Now, so there's unlimited incarnations, unlimited expansions of Krishna, and so Krishna himself comes in different ages. It is said, Paritranaya sadhanam vinashanaya sadushkritam Dharma, what's the verse? Dharma saksama artaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That's a verse from the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Oh, you say it one more time. Sadhanam. Okay, exactly. So Krishna comes again and again after yuga, he comes in different forms to annihilate the demons and to protect the devotees. So in this yuga we are in this very yuga we are sitting in right now, he also came in a very, very special and a very hidden incarnation. And this incarnation, very special incarnation, is very unique. And this incarnation and this this form of Krishna comes only in one day of Lord Brahma. In one day of Brahma, who lives 100 years, and is a very long time span on the level of the demigods. But if you break it down to one day of Brahma, if you break down to one day of his 100 years, that is 1,000 yuga cycles for us. Millions and millions and millions of lifetimes. And in one of those thousands of cycles, there's one Kali Yuga where Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya. The Chana avatar, hidden avatar. He comes once on the day of Brahma, and he gives, what does he give? He gives Braja brain. He gives like, okay, everyone needs to have some love. I look at this material world, everyone is suffering. Aren't we? Aren't we suffering? We kind of wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror. And it's like, okay, I slept for 8-9 hours, and you can see we all have difficulties in this world. So Krishna can see that the living entities are suffering in this world. Birth, death, old age, and disease. We have. It's not so easy to go through life. So Krishna can see this, and he can see like, oh right, I need to give them some love, some real love. But this love we're talking about when we talk about the love of Balaram, his love is super special. That is something which is so pure. So this love is not like, oh come, everyone just gets it. It's not just that you throw it out like this all the time. It is given at a certain point in time. And that time was 500 years ago in India. 500 years ago, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya, and with him came his brother. So when Krishna goes somewhere, his brother goes with him. They're friends. They go they do okay, let's do it. We go somewhere, I come with you. They never really want to be separated. So when Krishna came 500 years ago, Balaram came with him. So like we read in the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we have Krishna becomes Lord Chaitanya in a very special mood, and Balaram comes as Nityananda. Different forms, same personalities but different forms. So the story of Lord Chaitanya, which we're not going to go into today, is also very interesting. Why he actually came, in what mood did he come? But an interesting thing is, when Lord Chaitanya came, he wanted to taste that love also, because if you're the object of love, you don't know how the other person feels when they love you, isn't it? You cannot feel the love. You might say like, oh Karuna, I love you, but I don't know how you feel about this. I don't know what that means, right? So Krishna wanted to taste that. He wanted to he's like, I want to understand how do my devotees love me? I want to taste that love too. If I look at them, they're so blissful. They cry and they're happy, and they always kind of come to me and they worship me, and they serve me with all their hearts, and they go out of their own way to serve me. I want to understand, how does that feel? So Krishna came in a very special incarnation as Lord Chaitanya to taste that love. He wanted to taste it himself. So with him, Lord Nityananda came. And this is really, really nice. If you are interested, I can only recommend you to read books about Lord Nityananda. This is a nice one. This is Nityananda Charitamrita. This is from Vrindavan Thakur. This is about the life of Lord Nityananda. His birth, his childhood, how he was brought up, and maybe you can tell something about from that book. So when Lord Nityananda, he was actually taking birth 12 years earlier. Right? Before Lord Chaitanya came to this earth, Lord Nityananda was already there, 12 years. So he took 12 years earlier his, so to say, his appearance, his birth. And since he is Balaram, the Supreme Person of Godhead, he knows that too. He has that mood in himself. He knows how he's playing with Krishna in Vrindavan. He knows how he's, how they're herding the cows, and what pastimes they play. But suddenly he is in Navadvip in India, and in a different form. Right, and so he's waiting. Okay, so when is Krishna coming? When is Krishna finally coming so I can see him again? It's a very wonderful pastime. So he takes birth. He's there. He prepares everything for Krishna, like we already established that he goes there and he wants to prepare everything for Krishna. So he took birth, and in his youth and when he was a child, he would always play with all the other boys in the villages. He would play with them Krishna Lila, and everyone would ask, like, how does that boy know all the Leelas? He never studied the Vedas. He never listened to Srimad Bhagavatam. How does he know all the Leelas? So he brings all the cowherd boys, all the village boys together, and he plays with them all kinds of Krishna Leelas, right? But he kept his divinity hidden, right? So he didn't show anyone that he is actually Krishna. He just kept it hidden. So he grew up, and then one day, One day a sannyasi came into town, and he was visiting the parents and visited the house of Lord Nityananda and his parents. And in the Vedic culture, it was like this: when a sannyasi is asking something, you would give it to him. So it's very auspicious when a sannyasi comes to your house. So the sannyasi would come, and then it would serve him, and then the sannyasi would say, "I have a request," to the father of Lord Nityananda. He would say, "I have a request." And the father said, "Yes, whatever you need, whatever you want, I give, no problems." You know, Indian culture is like this. "Oh, okay, sure. Holy person, what do you need?" And he says, "Like, I want to take your son. I want to take your son with me on a pilgrimage. I need an assistant." And his father was so heartbroken. He was like, "No, how can you?" But he's already said yes. You know, how can you ask questions like this? And you imagine, his father, he didn't know that it is a divine personality. He was just so attracted to that person. Imagine just in your head or in your heart, when you meet God, but you don't know it's God, that person is so attractive. You know, the more this person is going to show you, the more you're going to feel attracted. So his father was heartbroken, his mother was heartbroken, but finally it was settled. Okay, he needs to go. So he went with the sannyasi on a very, very long pilgrimage. And after some time, the sannyasi went off, and Lord Nityananda was alone by himself. And it's very nice, he described how he went to all the holy places in Vrindavan. Pushkar, he went to the Himalayas, he went to Naimisharanya also, he went to all the holy places, and he ended up in Vrindavan. He ended up in Vrindavan. But in the meantime, Lord Chaitanya already took birth, and Lord Chaitanya did the same thing. Lord Chaitanya kept his divinity hidden from everyone. In the beginning, his beautiful childhood pastimes and youth pastimes is amazing. If you read this and go into this, it's a wonderful passage, but he was also hiding his divinity. He was waiting for a very special moment when he could start the Sankirtan movement, when he could start the movement to flat out this love. This is the idea. Krishna wanted to taste his love, but he knows his love is so amazing. And I don't want to keep it for myself, I want to give it to everyone else. So he was waiting for a very special moment when he could start the Sankirtan movement to give everyone the love. So when Lord Chaitanya met his guru and he came back from Gaya, he was actually not heartbroken, but he started to show his love. He started to show his heart cracked open. He started to reveal himself to his associates. It's like, look, actually I'm Krishna. And they all were crying, and wow, Krishna has come. And they all fell at his lotus feet, and they wanted to serve him, they wanted to be with him. And he was so much ingrained in his love because he came in the mood of Radharani. Again, it's maybe too long to tell today, but he came in the mood of Radharani to taste his love, of how his devotees love him, how Radharani is so much in love with him. And he tasted it for the first time, the devotees' love, and he fell on the ground. He fell on the ground, he was crying. He was crying, he was mad like a madman. If you would see him, you would think, what is this with this person? He was so beautiful. He was glowing and he was beautiful. Beautiful eyes, beautiful hands, beautiful arms, beautiful body, beautiful hair. Imagine God in love. Yeah? So everyone was like, wow, what is this with this personality? And at that moment when Lord Chaitanya revealed himself, Nityananda knew, okay, now Lord Chaitanya is going to start his Sankirtan movement. Let me go to Navadvip. Because he was also searching, he was asking, he went to all the holy places, like we said, he went to all the different holy places in India, and he was asking, he never saw Krishna. He was asking one person there, like a sadhu, he's like, I'm going from one holy place to another holy place, and I don't see Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is he? And somehow or other, I don't know why, but somehow or other, this holy person, he knew that Krishna is in Navadvip and took birth in Lord Chaitanya. He told him, like, Krishna took birth in Navadvip, so you better go there if you want to see him. And then so he went. And so Lord Nityananda took the journey from Vrindavan to Navadvip. And then so there's also a very beautiful story how they met, actually. So Lord Chaitanya obviously is omniscient, as Lord Nityananda is omniscient. Means they know everything, you know? They know everything, because they are sitting in everyone's heart, you know? There's a super soul. The super soul means the ears and the eyes and the mouths and everything of the divine person is in every nook and corner, in every atom is Krishna. They know everything. But sometimes they fall also into like a network of a divine illusion, you can say, which is filled with love, and then they forget about their own divinity, like that. But Lord Chaitanya omniscient, Lord Nityananda omniscient. And so Lord Chaitanya had a dream. He was dreaming one night. He was dreaming of, he was, in the morning he was gathering all his friends. He was like, I had a dream last night. You know, a divine personality will come to Navadvip, and he wants to meet us. He wants to meet me. I'm so excited. And in this dream, there was a cart, like a chariot, came to our door, and there was like an amazing, huge personality in there, like a wonderful person with a plow, and he had like a dhoti, like a blue dhoti and blue kind of garments. It was very powerful. And you spoke with a deep voice. Is this the house of Lord Nityananda? No, excuse me. Is this the house of Chaitanya? Is this the house of Nimai? That's what he was saying. Is this the house of Nimai? And then I woke up from the dream. So I know someone's coming. This is also, it's just as a side point, I don't know about you, but the dreams are very important for us, you know? Like Krishna can reveal himself in dreams too. And he does, he plays with his devotees. The Guru can also reveal himself in dreams. So keep that in mind. So this is even in those leelas we can see how this is very interesting. Now, Lord Chaitanya was saying, he's here. In the meantime, Lord Nityananda came to Navadvip, and Lord Chaitanya knew he's here. But again, Nityananda kept himself hidden from the public. But Lord Nityananda was saying, okay, go out, please go out. Srivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, please, you two go out, you find that personality. And they went out. They went out to go to the villages, and I couldn't find anyone of this description. They went to all the houses and they were asking people, have you seen this personality, very wonderful, big, with a plow and blue garments? And they were like, no one. I haven't seen. And I came back to Lord Chaitanya. It's like, well, we searched everything. We don't see that person. The person's not here. And then Lord Chaitanya said, like, well, he must be here. Search again. And I went out again. And then they were asking people, have you seen this personality? It's a divine personality, a wonderful person. Must be here. And then someone knew that he was there in some house. And it's like, well, you need to go. I bring you there. Come. I bring you there. So Lord Chaitanya, Haridas Thakur, Srivas Pandit, and all his friends, they would go out and meet Nityananda in Navadvip for the first time. And that is a wonderful, wonderful lila to also read and go into. So when Krishna and Balaram, they are friends, they're brothers, right? So, and we just described that at this moment, they were separated, because Krishna came 12 years later. So Nityananda had such a longing to see his brother again. Where is my Krishna? When is my Krishna coming? When do I see my brother again? He had such a longing. And the same for Krishna. Same for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When is my brother coming? When do I see my brother again? And now this meeting, the meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu is described as an absolutely amazing lila. If you want to understand something little about divinity, something little about transcendence, you have to read those leelas. This is just, it goes beyond, but you get a taste of it. You get a little taste of what's going on. So they meet for the first time. And Nityananda sees, basically Balaram sees Krishna again after such a long time. Can you imagine, you're in love with someone and you don't see that person for 12 years? I don't know. Do we have that feeling sometimes? Really missing someone? It's like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we really missing someone? I don't think we have that capacity. But if God misses someone, then it's to the extreme. So he misses his brother, and finally they didn't meet. And Lord Nityananda looks at Chaitanya and he couldn't speak a word. His eyes open up, his mouth open up, and he's like this. And it was completely in ecstasy. And it's actually described in this book that it was a little earlier, but it was described that Nityananda, he was so much in love, he was actually roaring like a lion. He was screaming, Krishna, where are you? he would scream like this, "Roar!" Like really, like where are you? And that roar, excuse me, that roar is described that the whole universe was unconscious for a second. Everyone was like, "Oh, too much." Everything stopped. You see, we're talking about Krishna, we're talking about God. You know, when God's looking for someone and he's crying, he's like screaming, and everything falls apart. For a second, the whole universe stopped. So they meet each other again, and then everyone else around was astonished how they met, in what mood, and how they would meet. You know, like if you really meet your lover again, your brother again, can you imagine like hugs, and they would talk something, and they would be in ecstasy, tears would flow from their eyes, and they would say something and no one would understand, but they would crying and holding each other, and they started to dance and jump and fall on the ground and fall unconscious, completely unconscious. Like you look at your lover, it's like, oh, I haven't seen you for such long, and you fall unconscious to the ground. Everyone's like, what is going on? Who are these two personalities? Because some people knew and some people didn't. Again, you know, it is about revelation. You know, when God, if you try to see God, but God doesn't reveal Himself to you, you won't be seeing Him, right? So to some people, He was still holding back. To some people could understand. Oh, actually, that's Krishna and Balaram. Now I can see it. I see Nityananda, I see Chaitanya, but I see Balaram and I see Krishna, and they come together, and I see both of them at the same time. Nityananda is Balaram, and Chaitanya is Krishna. They're cowboys, but they're also sannyasis. Like they're also like these different forms. They would shape-shift, you could say. They could see the internal and the external at the same time. Some people would be like, what is going on? What is this meeting? What am I seeing? Everyone was so astonished. And not only astonished, and this is the beautiful thing about this divine form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, everyone could feel the love too. You know? You're looking at the Leela, and then they would look at each other and they would lose themselves, and you look at it and you feel the same love. Like, wow. This is what I want to share. I want to share the highest pinnacle of love. And when we talk about love and unlimited love, when we say like, okay, the highest pinnacle means like the highest point, the highest point of love. If we say like, okay, here's the highest point of love, in 1 second it increased. Now it's here, and in 1 second, and now it's here. It's unlimited. It goes on. It's Ananda. It's Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. It's ever increasing. This kind of love is what they want to share with us. Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. Eternally increasing love between this, this is like, cuts through. This is like, thank you. This is what I want to share with us. Now, 500 years ago in India, it was also not an easy place. Kali Yuga is 5,000 years old, so already some signs of Kali Yuga were creeping up everywhere. And so they had many pastimes, and one of the most famous pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda is, who knows? What is one of the most famous pastimes?
Wenn die Gott von Jaga and Madai und Händen.
Yes, the deliverance of Jaga and Madai. Jaga and Madai, maybe we say that story shortly. I want to just mention that. Because this is what they're most famous for. This is where they came. One of the aspects of their Leela is where they came. So 500 years ago in India, Kali Yuga already creeped in. The Brahmana caste or sect, the Brahmana caste was kind of already broken. People would drink alcohol, would misuse their power, thinking like, oh, I'm born in the Brahman family because I'm Brahman family. My father was a Brahman. I'm also Brahman. I can do whatever I want, but I'm also Brahman. Like this, it was going on. It was purity was a little lost. So there was one. There were two brothers actually, Jaga and Madai. They were actually Brahmanas. They were born as Brahmanas, but they fell down. They started to drink. They started to kind of rob people. They started to beat people up, like that. They became like thieves, rooks and thieves, and everyone was fearful. It is described there was not even one house in the whole Navadvip which they didn't rob. You know, today we would say mafia. You know, mafia. I'm sure there's mafia kind of things in Berlin. A lot of mafia people over there. You don't want to meet those guys. You know, they're mean business. They come with guns and like that. They didn't have guns 5 years ago, but they would come with sticks and they would beat everyone up. Just take everything. Just like impose themselves. So really, really sinful people, eating meat, slaughtering people, beating people up, beating brahmanas like that, setting houses on fire, completely lost in their own kind of stupidity, right? So Lord Chaitanya, he comes to give this love to everyone, and he says like, okay, Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, I want you two to go out and go from door to door, knock on everyone's door and say like, worship Krishna, surrender to Krishna, and learn the science of Krishna. These 3 things, not more. This is all you say. You go there, you knock on the door, when they open the door, it's like, worship Krishna, learn about Krishna, and surrender to Krishna. These 3 things. Can you imagine? Someone's knocking on your door and is saying that, how would you react? First they're like, okay, I don't know, who are you? So people would react like this. Some pious people would start to take it because they understand. Some people who were maybe not so pious, they would not take it. So there was a little bit of a commotion in the city, because they went around every day. They would go out, they would knock on people's doors. Please, forget everything you know, just for a second, and worship Krishna. I beg you, just for one day, just for 1 second, say Krishna, say the name of Krishna, start to worship Krishna. And so Lord Chaitanya sent them out and said, like, you go out, you do this the whole day, and then you come back and you give me a report. What happened? Tell me what happens when you knock on the door like this. So they went around Navadvip many times, and of course one day they met these 2 rooks, these 2, Jagai and Madai, and they went up to them, and everyone was saying, don't go there, these 2 are business. Like these mafia guys in Berlin, you would not go there. If you say like, oh, I'm going to this mafia, I was like, no, please stay. Because they're gonna take your head off. So like this, people were serious. Don't go there. They're like gonna F you up. But they went because Lord Chaitanya said like, we should approach everyone, so we do it. So they would approach them and say, hey, Jagai and Madai, and they were drunk, completely lost, drunk. Say, hey. Suddenly they see these 2 personalities, like wonderful devotees, Lord Nityananda, a divine personality, and a devotee, wonderful, beautiful people. And they would be like in the drunken state, they would look at them and they would come and say like, hey, worship Krishna, learn about Krishna, surrender to Krishna. What are you saying? Like that. And it just went up and they took sticks and they wanted to beat them up. So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda just went off, they just ran off, and they ran after them. Jagai and Madai, they ran after them and wanted to beat them up, but they didn't catch them. And I think it was a day or 2 later, they met them again. And this time it was like that Lord Nityananda came alone. He was actually on his way alone. And Jagai and Madai met him again. Like, oh, you are this sannyasi, you're this guy from yesterday? Tell me like I should worship and surrender to Krishna? Who are you? Huh? Come here. Really like rooks, And drunk. And one of them like took his picture, like his, where he was drinking out wine. And so it was Jagai. Excuse me, it was Madai. He took the picture and he was smashing it on the head. Who are you? Like, bam! Come on! I beat you up. And so Lord Nityananda, he was actually falling down, and his head was cracked open and blood came out. So he was bleeding a little bit. So how humble, can you imagine how humble that is? Like a divine personality goes to someone, please, do the right thing and worship God. Do it, because this is the only thing you're going to be like eternally happy. Just start now. And then another person comes along and just beats you up. And you're still like humble, not fighting back. He could smash them up, but he didn't. He's a Leela too. So when Lord Chaitanya heard about this, that this happened, he came to the spot. He was like, okay, I'm going to kill these two, because if you do something to your brother, someone does something to your friend or brother, like seriously, you're going to be like, okay, now we need to be serious. This is a serious thing. Okay, now let me just kill him. And he came there and he invoked his Sudarshan chakra, Krishna, his chakra, to kill them. And so Jagai and Madai, so Jagai was actually saying to Madai when he was beating him, he was actually saying, stop, don't hit him further. It's very important in this Leela that he was actually stopping his brother to do more harm. So when Lord Chaitanya came there and he was showing his Sudarshan chakra, wanted to kill everyone, these two people, will kill them. Jagai was actually saying, I'm so sorry, I feel so sorry, I'm sorry that we did this is no good. And he fell on the ground and he surrendered Lord Chaitanya, like, we did the worst thing ever. Imagine, drunk. But he came to his senses, like, what have I done? So he was surrendering this. And because he was surrendering, that's also an interesting point, he was surrendering, Lord Chaitanya said, like, okay, if you surrender, I forgive you. If you surrender to my lotus feet, if you really come to me, then I forgive all your sins, no problems. Millions and quadrillions and billions of sins you've committed, not only in this life, but in all the other lives. I forgive it. No problem, come. I show you what real love is. And Jagai was like, he just, for the first time, he got some glimpses into what love actually means, what divine love means, and he started to cry because he surrendered. But Madai, the one who threw the pot, he was like, he saw the scene, it was like, he went to Lord Chaitanya and said, okay, I'm also surrendering, I'm sorry for doing this. But Lord Chaitanya was saying, no, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to forgive you about this, because this is my brother, this is the Vaishnava, this is my brother. And what you've done to him, I cannot forgive for millions of lifetimes. Because it's an offense. It's offensive to hurt someone who's on a, let's say, on a spiritual and divine path. It's offense. God is a person. He doesn't like. He has likes and dislikes, and that's one thing he doesn't like. If you hurt his friends like that, there was a little bit of a commotion and a little bit of a back and forth, and then finally he gave him the mercy too. And it's described how these two, Jagai and Madai, how they kind of fell to the ground in tears, came to their senses. All this illusion which we create in our life about our own ego, about our false ego, about our identity and what we are and what we not are, and what we have and what's mine and what's not mine. All this illusion and all this commotion in their heads kind of fell off and just fell away, and they could see themselves as pure souls. And as pure souls, we are part and parcel of Krishna. We belong to Krishna. So you realize, similar to what these two have going on in the beginning, you realize, I'm actually a soul, I'm part of Krishna. How could I forget? Why did I forget my divine connection to Krishna? How could I forget this? And then if you realize this, you're gonna cry. You're all gonna cry. This moment's gonna come. If it hasn't already been there, in some cases, I'm sure some people have already some experiences, but if this moment will come when we realize and see and experience that we're actually eternal, fragmental parts of Krishna. We are his family. We are his family. And when we realize this, when we get rid of our own illusions and wrong ideas we have about ourselves and the world, we have nothing else left than to cry. And you will cry. And you fall to the ground like Nityananda, and you're going to be stunned. You can't even say a word. Difficult to say something. You realize what you've done. How we disconnect ourselves for so long from God. And how much pain that brought us. We're going to look back and see our lifetimes trying to be the master of the universe, trying to be someone like You know, I can do everything. I do everything. Realize that we actually divine sparks. And it's described in the Bhagavad Gita. We have the different elements. We have earth, water, fire, air, ether, the mind, our mind. We have intelligence. We have the false ego. This is all material. This is material. And above that there's the soul. And this soul belongs to Krishna. This is the truth according to Bhagavad Gita. This is the truth according to what Krishna is saying. You are my fragmental part. Eternally, you are my brother, you're my sister, you're my friend, you're my lover. Depending on what kind of rasa you have, what relationship you have with Krishna, that will come out. So anyway, this so Lord Chaitanya delivered the most two sinful people on the planet on the plea of Lord Nityananda, because Lord Nityananda said, like, I don't take offense. I want you to give them this wonderful special love. So Lord Chaitanya did. He forgave their offenses, and he gave them a glimpse into their eternal identity, and delivered them. So that's one lila they are most famous for, you know, to come here and to give everyone a chance, even if they're so degraded. No one's lost. No one is lost if you surrender. You're lost if you're not surrendered. That's a problem. If you lost, you lose yourself. You lose the chance to have a divine, beautiful connection with Krishna if you don't surrender. But that's up to you, because surrender needs to come from you. So that's the idea. So they come again. Krishna comes in so many incarnations. We mentioned, like yesterday was Varaha, this Kurma, Matsya, Buddha. There's so many different incarnations coming and coming, like waves. Comes again, like, hey, here I am. Wake up, spirit soul, here I am, Krishna says. And so one day we wake up by our own good fortune or by the mercy of some saints. Like in our case, you know, we can say, like, the moment we got woken up, or the person who woke us up like this is Srila Prabhupada. He came here, was like, hey, come on, be a little intelligent. I remember when I, for the first time, came in contact with this knowledge, I was very much engrossed in material life. But I had a book which was called Life Comes from Life. And you might know that book from Srila Prabhupada, Life Comes from Life. So I was reading in that book. I had no idea about spirituality. I was born in an atheistic society and family. But I was reading this book, and there's so many interesting, amazing points Prabhupada made, which made me feel like, well, I have to admit that's true. And the most amazing thing is the title of the book, Life Comes from Life. I was sitting in front of that book, I was thinking about that title, I was thinking, like, well, life comes from life, so true. Yes, life comes from life. All right, so this life comes from this life, this life. So, you know, Prabhupada makes the point, if you go back like this, you reach at Krishna, you reach at God, He's the source. Oh wow, Krishna must be, yes, like this, you come out of your illusion. You know? So, by some wonderful mercy, I don't know why we all got the mercy, I don't know, but we got it. There's some divine, wonderful arrangement. Srila Prabhupada woke us up, and he kind of gives us a push, like, come on, go ahead, learn more about Krishna, find out what's your unique relationship with Krishna. It's unique. There's this one relationship which Krishna is interested in, which only you have. You see? And he's like, oh, what's your name? Bart. Yeah. Oh, this Bart. You know? He's such a wonderful boy. I want to know, who is this guy? You know, one-to-one, this is what it is all about. Yeah? We shouldn't feel like, God is sitting somewhere in the cloud, and he anyway has this whatever going on. He's not interested in me. No, he's interested in all of us. That's why he comes. Ages after ages, yugas after yugas, he comes again, hey, here I am. But this incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu is very special, because both of them give something which is, we established the beginning, which is very unique, and that's the original love. And now because Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda has that love, he can give it to you. Someone who has something, if I have $1 million, I can give you $10,000, $100,000. If I have it, I can give it to you. He has it. He has the love for Krishna. Now, the interesting thing about this is too, like, how do we surrender to this? What does that mean? Okay, now today is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, and it said we should surrender. He was there 500 years ago, but what today? What about today? Today about the 30th of January 2026 here in Berlin. How do I surrender? Is that a good question?
How we should surrender?
Yeah, the question may come up, how do I surrender?
Harinam.
Yeah.
Sankirtan.
Yes, very good. So here, the suggestion is made. How do we surrender? The question is, how do we surrender? Yes, we follow what they gave us. They gave us a process. Okay, you want to realize your own uniqueness and your own soul. Chant Harinam. In this day and age, this is the highest form of yoga. Chant Harinam, sitting down, especially together in a group. You can do it by yourself, but especially together in a group, a Sankirtan, singing together. This brings the juice, realization, not just wisdom, not just knowledge, but wisdom. Like, it gives you realization of yourself after some time. How can I sit here and speak all these things? I have no clue. I'm coming from a very bad background. But what happened to me over the last 25 years? I followed that path. I didn't stop. It was so attractive. Okay, life comes from life. That was like an ignition to me. Like, wow, this is amazing. And I followed that path. You know, reading, studying, understanding, having association, having kirtans. And I tell you, this process works. You know, without telling you the details, but this process is amazing. But one thing, and maybe we end on that note too, one thing you can imagine is that Balaram, who is, like we said, Balaram, he gives strength. He, like we said, he's Mula Sankarshan. So what does Mula Sankarshan mean? Means like the personality who can create everything. The person who's like who has all the power in himself to create whatever is needed. And as we already established, he created this material world. So Balaram expands himself in different Vishnu forms, Chaturyuha. But then when he comes to the material world, he becomes Mahavishnu, right? And Mahavishnu, from Mahavishnu, all the universes come out. As we know, when you breathe in and breathe, all the universes come out, and he impregnates the living entities into the universe, right? And then he himself goes into the universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So who is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu? Who knows?
One is Paramatma.
Yes. There you go. Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is the super soul. When I realized this, I was like, whoa. I was always thinking Krishna, but it's not, because it's Balaram. Triyodashi Vishnu, the super soul in our heart, the person, the divine spark which is in our soul, the soul of our soul. That's why we live. How can we live? We have nothing, but he impregnates, he gives us life. The soul of our soul is Triyodashi Vishnu, and he's right there with you from the beginning. There's no beginning, but from the beginning until the end, there's no end. He was with us all the time. He will be with us all the time. So he's listening to everything we say. He's watching all our activities. He knows everything about us. This person over there, Lord Balaram, who gives you strength and spiritual life, he knows everything about you. And he's ready to give you the love if you want it. Do you want the love?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want the love? Then tell him, and that's the point. We do our Harinam Sankirtan, but there's an external and there's an internal development. And the internal development is an authentic and open approach and open dialogue with Krishna, Balaram. Speak up, speak in yourself, in your soul. Speak up, say, okay, Krishna, I want to know more about you. I want to get serious. Is that true? Is that true what this guy told me today? Karuna, Sindhu, whatever he said, is that true? I want to know. Give me more. Give me the knowledge. Show to me the truth. This is the dialogue we need to do. This is your part. They're ready to give you the mercy, and we're already getting the mercy. We're getting prasadam, we're getting kirtans, we're getting association, we can go to India, we can go to the holy place, we get so much mercy. But we get even more mercy if we want more. It's called lobha. It's called greed. Greedy. We're all greedy for something. We're all greedy for something. Money. What else? Tell me. Help me out. What are people greedy for? Money? Yeah, mostly, right?
Success.
Fame, success.
Fame.
Huh?
Fame.
Fame. What else?
Food.
Food. Isn't it like, oh, my stomach, I need something to eat, let me see. And then once this is like, this whole thing process starts, you're gonna go like, okay, where do I get my next food from? You're greedy, you become like completely like one-pointed. Your intelligence is like, you find your food and you find it and you have it finally and it's like, oh. So that same greed, if you take that same greed and you just 1% of that greed and you direct it towards the Lord, you direct it towards Krishna, you direct it towards Balaram, you direct it towards Nityananda and Chaitanya, you will see your life will change. And this communication, the communication channel that they have with you, with each one of us, is amazing. Because they know you. They know you to the core of your being. They know everything about you, and they know exactly how they want it. They know exactly how they need to respond to you, so that you can surrender more, or that you feel more the connection and the love. So finally, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, they had all these different pastimes. We could go on for days and days and days. We could read these books and we could go into the stories, wonderful stories. And finally, when time comes, they leave and they left again. They came and they also left. And the way Lord Nityananda left is also interesting. He went to his birthplace. He went to the place where he was born. And he went into a temple of Krishna. He went into the temple of Krishna, and what did he do? He merged into the deity. Can you imagine someone comes in and walks here and goes into the bottom. It's like, we are like, what? What happened? Who was that? So that's how he finished the pastimes. Also, Lord Chaitanya did the same thing. He went to Jagannath Puri. Right? What's the deity Jagannath went into? Jota Gopinath. Tota Gopinath. Okay, so this is how they ended their leader, but the mission and the quest and the request of them is still there. Fall in love with us. That's what they say. So I hope that inspired you a little bit, and I hope I could give you a little insight, and I hope I could satisfy you with this talk. Very well. Okay, now there's another. Yeah, now it's time for Kirtan. There you go.
So please get up and leave your questions, and now it's time to dance.
Could be like Krishna singing. Krishna, you want to play with that also?
Ja, wenn du spielen kannst, das wäre sehr für dich, ja.